The news of my sister's pregnancy had barely sunk in when my mother unleashed her bombshell: hand over my house. At 31 and the proud owner of my own sweat-built success, seeing myself as the lesser child compared to my younger sister was a bitter pill to swallow, especially considering our dad, bless his soul, always saw things differently. Their divorce, fueled by Mom's high school fling betrayal, was still an open wound. It triggered a cascade of controlling, manipulative behavior in her, which sadly rubbed off on my sister, turning her into a mini-me of Mom's entitled ways. Mom saw me as her personal Ginny, a snap of her fingers, and I was supposed to jump. This demeaning dynamic, coupled with my sister's unwavering support for it, had frayed our relationship long before. No surprise then, after the split, I landed with Dad, while my sister stayed with Mom. They were practically two peas in a pod, both strangely distant from Dad, unless it involved his wallet. Me, I took after Dad. He instilled in me his business sense, and by 16, I was his right-hand man. 12 years later, his skills were mine, and Dad rewarded my hard work by making me a partner. We were a dream team until fate dealt us a cruel hand. 8 months ago, Dad, weakened by years of smoking, succumbed to COVID at 60. A virtual funeral, a socially distanced goodbye. The pandemic added another layer of surrealism to our grief. My sister's pain resonated through the screen. She clearly loved Dad despite their rocky relationship. But Mom, she was eerily stoic. Not shocking, considering the last time she saw him. She was spitting fire about money and threatening lawsuits. A scene that left both Dad and me heartbroken. Dad wasn't the sugar daddy my mom wanted. Sure, he paid alimony and child support, even threw in a hefty $30,000 for my sister's college fund. But a decade after the divorce, the court said, enough's enough. No more free money for Mom. And let's be honest, she wasn't exactly scraping by. 3 decades at a stable job, owner of our old family home, rented out on Elm for bonus bucks. Financial security wasn't an issue. Then came the will reading, a bittersweet moment after the virtual funeral. Turns out, Dad had a hunch about his smoking habit, even cracked jokes about it in a pre-recorded video. Most of his estate, business holdings, beloved house, went to me. A huge honor and a heavy responsibility. Sis wasn't left out. A 2015 Nissan and a cool $10,000 showed Dad's love. Mom, well, let's just say her inheritance wasn't exactly yacht-worthy. $1,000 and some rightfully hers stuff from the divorce. Not exactly the windfall she was hoping for. Speaking of windfalls, my girlfriend is now my housemate, enjoying the inheritance, living the dream. My sister, on the other hand, took a different path. 2 years of community college, then 0 career, just part-time online gigs and relying on her boyfriend. Sadly, she also suffered a heartbreaking miscarriage, something I only found out about after the funeral. Guess the communication gap ran deep. Then came the lockdown, tightening the screws on finances. My sister's boyfriend got downsized, his part-time gigs barely kept afloat. Feeling the heat, he pushed her to find a better job, while hustling for one himself. And guess what? Surprise bun in the oven. A miracle baby, they called it, despite claiming to be careful. One evening, boom. Mom and Sis on my doorstep, uninvited and barging through like they owned the place. My girlfriend and I blinked in confusion, trying to make sense of this surprise family reunion. Sis, giddy and lost in her own world, explored my house like a tourist. Mom, on the other hand, snapped her fingers for water, which my ever-polite girlfriend promptly provided. The tension hung thick in the air. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore and asked why they were there. Sis, still on her room-raiding mission, ignored me. Then her muffled yell from down the hall. Mommy, it's perfect. Mommy. Yep, at 28, she still used that term. Mom cleared her throat, urgency lacing her voice. Dad's gone, she reasoned, so the house should automatically be hers, right? But hey, she's a generous soul, offering a compromise. I, with my apparently overflowing pockets, could buy them a new house. This house was meant for my sis. The miracle baby needed it more. If I insisted on staying, well, one room and all the bills were my new home sweet home. My girlfriend and I exchanged a knowing glance. We already knew this wasn't just a friendly visit. No way in hell, I declared, finally finding my voice. This was my house, my haven, and no one, least of all my entitled mother, was going to bully me out of it. I worked hard for my success, just like Dad, and my money wasn't theirs to claim. Mom, predictably, didn't care. Finger-snapping, classic her, she launched into a tirade about respect and motherhood. Apparently, she'd birthed me into servitude, making her some mythical being I should worship on demand. The audacity. This house, mine by right, was meant for Sis and her miracle baby. I, the inconvenience, got 2 weeks to pack and scram. Unbelievable. But hey, gotta stay calm. I reached for my phone, ready to call the law and escort them out myself. Mom saw red, lunging to snatch it away. Too slow, lady. This wasn't a negotiation anymore. Leave or be removed, I warned, voice firm. Shocked silence, then a fiery rage contorted her face. A slap landed on my cheek, stinging. My hand reacted before I could think, a backhand leaving her reeling, makeup smudged, disbelief etched on her face. How dare you? Mom shrieked, but I was dialing the cops. This was my house, my peace, and I wouldn't let her bully me out of it. Sis, ever the mediator, shoved herself between us, begging me to be the responsible big brother. Really, I snapped. Working my ass off since I was a teenager, while you were glued to your games. Remember all that borrowed cash you used to blow after draining your allowance? You're a leech, not a sibling. Leave, both of you, or I dial. Sis' eyes welled up, tears staining her mascara. Mom, ever the drama queen, clung to her, showering her with kisses and shooting me daggers. Then, the threat. Call the cops, and I'll tell them you attacked me, even threatened my helpless, pregnant daughter. Not a good look, huh? Before she could finish, I held up a hand. Stop. My girlfriend's been recording this whole charade. You attacked first, and now you're threatening false accusations. Nice try. Mom's threat was a dud. One look at her phone, probably her reviews, and her Karen rage deflated faster than a punctured balloon. Dragging a sobbing Sis behind her, she tried one last power move. But Sis, now channeling her inner toddler, threw a tantrum right on my porch step, throwing Mom a look that could curdle milk. Consequences of your parenting, dear Mom, I couldn't resist pointing out. Mom shot daggers at me, then tried to pry Sis off the railing. Sis, as stubborn as a mule, clung on, repeating, "You promised," like a mantra. The whole scene was so ridiculous, I let out a laugh, a mischievous glint in my eye. Get out, and never come back. I declared from the safety of my doorway. Mom shot me the bird, a pathetic attempt to regain control. Dragging Sis away, she tried guilt-tripping her, painting me as the devil himself. I chuckled, unfazed. Hellfire awaits liars and manipulators, I countered. Her face contorted in rage, but before she could unleash another tirade, I held up my phone, the recording still running. Time's up, Mom. Get off my property. Silence. Then, with a begrudging nod, she ushered Sis to their car. As they drove off, Mom's parting glare sent shivers down my spine, relief mixed with unease. I didn't know it then, but this was just the beginning. Days later, my inbox exploded. Messages from friends, family, even distant relatives. Many were furious, some just confused. What had happened? Desperately seeking answers, I tried logging into Facebook, blocked. Both Mom and Sis had cut me off. It stung, but luckily, my girlfriend still had access to their open profiles. Together, we dove into the digital drama, collecting screenshots of their lies. Greedy brother stole his sister's inheritance. They screamed online. The audacity of it all. They even claimed I bribed Dad's lawyer to manipulate the will, Laughable lies, but their venom hurt. Feeling the weight of their slander, I reached out to my lawyer, Dad's trusted friend. He saw the screenshots, the video, the truth. It was time to fight back. Mom's demands were outrageous: hand over the house or else. My lawyer, Dad's old friend, suggested a polite cease and desist letter. But I wanted something fiercer. I envisioned Mom fuming as she signed for a certified letter, knowing the jig was up. And fume she did. When she called, rage crackled through the phone. My ultimatum: retract the online lies, confess the truth to everyone, or I'd unleash my arsenal, screenshots of their slander, the video of her meltdown, to family, her boss, the whole internet. Plus, legal action. She scoffed, claiming she was just trying to help sis, who still needed the house more than me. The audacity. Fine, you win, Mom choked out, the fight gone from her voice. The phone clicked dead. Later that night, a miracle. The lies vanished from social media. I was unblocked, even gifted a half-hearted apology from Mom. Apparently, she was just being hasty, worried about sis, broke and pregnant, needing the house. Shocker, Dad's will actually gave it to me. No wonder her claim felt so thin. Sis apologized next, but it echoed Mom's script. Pregnancy hormones, she blamed, conveniently forgetting all those stolen, borrowed bucks. People piled onto their pages, furious about the house grab. For me, it was a truth bomb. Apologies poured in, confessions from folks who'd initially sided with sis. Turns out, many were just swayed by her sub-story, especially her family. Dad's side, not buying it, not one bit. So sis and her beau moved in with Mom to save cash. But guess what? Mom's album hustle took priority, relegating them to the basement. Unsurprisingly, sis took to social media, venting about her dungeon life. Tension brewed between her and the boyfriend, and she continued her online rants, while Mom went radio silent after the backlash. What do you think? Was this a calculated move by Mom, or just another chapter in the family drama? Did sis deserve the basement, or was it a power play? Let me know in the comments. To watch more interesting stories, hit that subscribe button. Thank you.